Well, greetings. I almost forgot that I undertook to do this, which is to sit down with you after I'd given a treatment. So today, the treatment was with somebody that I know, and it was nice to have had a bit of time between the booking and the actual appointment. So there was time enough to really anticipate this session. It's always something special when it's somebody that you already know, that they are coming to you in a different capacity. And this was no exception. This person is quite honest and open and also sensitive, living very mindfully, and such a privilege to share their details from their personal life and how they're feeling in their body. So it was a joy to invite them down the lane of inhabiting the body more fully, and also knowing myself and attempting to communicate the same, that there are so many resources and tools open to us to regulate our nervous systems. The term bipolar came up, and I clarified that this was not an official assessment, but it was by association. They shared that there was in the family some bipolar, and it highlighted to me how helpful classification can be when it serves, if I feel like it's a bipolar tendency, and if I feel like it's activated in me, I'm under stress, and these tendencies come out that are not so helpful to me usually. If I know that this helps, whatever it is, box breathing, going for a walk, being with a friend, then when they help, that is great. Then that serves a great purpose, just to have some sort of a classification, knowing, of course, ultimately that is all it is. The map is not the place, the score is not the music, the classification is not the person. So yeah, maybe that's all I wanted to share today. If you know me, and even if you've been with me before, you'll know that I'm a very unboxy kind of a person, and I work very free-flowing and intuitively, contrary to popular opinion. Yeah, however, this is my opinion on so-called classifications and categories. If they are helpful to us, then by all means, use those, exploit them, take advantage of all they have to offer. And when they don't serve anymore, you can release it. It's like being celiac. They say that, well, I'm not sure actually what the jury is on being celiac. Is that a lifelong condition? I have heard of people firsthand that had been put themselves on a very restrictive diet, or whatever the practice was. Perhaps it was also a fitness regime for a limited amount of time. Sometimes it was for 2 years, but usually a shorter amount of time. And at the end of that, they found to their delight that those of the offending substances didn't affect them anymore in that way. For example, people had an alcohol sensitivity. Okay, not that alcohol or red wine is maybe something that is necessary for a full conscious life. But if that's something that you choose to include in your life, and a lot of people have found that there's been a sensitivity with red wine. And of course, like with being celiac, people can argue that it's not so much the gluten as it is the glyphosate, so the pesticides and everything in the soil and the water. And, we could even argue, and in the air. So, by that token, it's just another roundabout way of saying, find your courage. Find your courage. Your heart is a mighty beast, a beautiful crystal in you, so intelligent, so wise. And within that, resides your courage, this lion-hearted being that you are. If you're here right now, you have courage. Believe you, me. And when you find that courage to just go for it, to just try something new that seems scary or edgy or intimidating, I'm not going to be able to do it. Now, again, it's nuanced. So there's a fine line between leaning into the thing that's intimidating, feeling the fear and doing it anyway, and being, bullied to do it. So there is such a thing as internal peer pressure. So be mindful who is egging on who. When it feels good and exciting in us, you may feel a part of your body tingling, kind of like dancing, lighting up inside, because it's like the next level of where you need to go. As they say in 12-step, what is the next right thing to do? And maybe it might be that thing that you've been putting off. Maybe it is going to sleep half an hour earlier for the next 2 weeks, any small step. Perhaps it is exercising for 15 minutes when you wake up. No, no quarter, no compromise, for the next 3 weeks. Whatever it is, find that courage in you. Who else deserves more care, mindfulness, time, and love than ourselves, right? And who else is going to do that? We can't be relying on our partner to do that. Why would we want to burden another human being with the task of minding ourselves? It's a privilege and an honor to have been given that this lifetime. So make use of that. If we don't like what we see in the mirror, who is that? Who is that doesn't like? What is it that they don't like? Was it your voice? Is it an impulse that comes from you, or was that planted in you long ago? This dislike of self, this mistrust of self, this unworthiness, undervaluing, devaluing. Anyway, went on a bit longer there. Have a beautiful Friday. It's Friday again already.